Karen Bonafilio. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. Inner Realms, Outer Journeys. We have a special guest today, and I'm so excited to have him on the show. And this is Sylvester Allen. Sylvester, would you like to say hi to everyone?
Yeah, sure, everyone. Karen, thank you so much for having me on your show today. So very excited to be here. And for everyone, my name is Sylvester Allen, and I am a psychic medium, trance speaker, and trance healer. And it's so great to be here.
Boy, you got a lot going on. You're a psychic, so you can talk to people behind the veil. You're a medium, and so you can connect with people's loved ones too.
Mhm.
And then trance speaker. And I love trance, so we got to definitely talk about that. And the healer. Ah, very, very well versed. And you live on the other side of the United States, don't you?
I do. I'm over here on the East Coast in the South in the great state of Florida. So that's where I'm at.
Oh, you're in Florida.
Mhm. Like right
Okay.
by the beach, which is nice too.
Yeah, you're. I have been to Florida a couple times, and I've been on the Miami side, and I've been on the other side. I don't know the Gulf side.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's start with your story. How did you discover your gifts? What have you done with them? Let's just start with you. Let's find out a little bit about you first.
Sure. So my story, I feel, is pretty similar to other mediums and other psychics, where they
Mhm.
talk about being young and knowing that they see spirit or they hear spirit. And that was very much the same experience for myself. My earliest memory that I have was when I was growing up and I was born in Germany, and my father was in the military, and
Mhm.
we were stationed at this base. And this base was Adolf Hitler's main headquarters when he was in Germany.
Oh, you're kidding. It's kind of
No,
creepy.
it is creepy.
Ooh,
It
that
is
energy.
creepy. Hmm. And,
Oh,
as a child, I remember these wood floors, and I would be asleep in bed at night, and I could just hear these boots just walking just above the ceiling. And I just thought, okay, this is great. I always remember it as well. We had a babysitter because my mother worked early mornings that lived across the hall, way, way, way on the other side. And we'd have to pack up and go early in the morning. And I remember walking through the corridors and looking to my left, and I can see men in what was a bathroom, and they were shaving and they were talking. And I remember saying
what
these things to my parents because they could hear the boots. But when I
did
started saying, I see these people,
oh my gosh. And now when you saw the people, were they solid? Like you were seeing a real person?
you know, as a child, it was very clear to me. It was from what I remember, like a bluish gray is what it
Oh,
looked like.
okay.
So I didn't see the color like you and I see now, but I
Mm.
knew it was distinctly different. And being 5 years old, you're not sure exactly what it is that you're seeing.
You were young.
Yeah.
And did you say your parents started noticing the boots too?
Yeah, it really freaked them out because they could hear the boots on the ceiling. And so when you have this child that says, I am also seeing these men
Mm,
and
shaving.
some other things as well. So um, that's kind of what my very first memories of it were.
God, that's a great story though. Did your parents encourage that with you? Those your talent at a early age, or did they just kind of go with it?
No, no, they did not encourage it. I remember it was something that they were kind of afraid of.
Hmm.
One was when I went to my mother one day and I said, Mom, I was just like, this is not my first time here. I lived before. And I just started talking about my old life. And you know what's interesting, and I'm not realizing this until now. This
Yeah.
is whenever it just kind of shut off for like the longest time. Like once that happened, it just kind of like shut itself off. And I just knew by the look in my mother's face that this is just not good. Again, as a small child, I was always very intuitive. So I just knew by what it was that I was feeling and what I was sensing that I shouldn't talk about this.
Right. Because it was out of their norm and they didn't know how to deal with it, it sounds like.
Exactly. They didn't
And you're
know.
saying all these crazy things. Hey, I remember, you know, basically a past life, and she probably hadn't even heard of that. Now, I have before we move on about you, I just need to know, are your parents okay with everything now, with what you're doing and they're accepting?
What I would say is my father, he's passed many
I'm
years
sorry.
ago. And we
Mm.
worked very closely together and we were in constant communication in spirit. So, yes, he is very
Oh,
supportive of it. My mother, who is living, is now very supportive of it, and she's my biggest cheerleader. So,
oh, perfect. Perfect. And how wonderful to connect with your father too.
mhm.
Yeah. All right. Well, tell us, before you do a reading, let's say you're doing a psychic reading or a mediumship reading, how do you prepare yourself for that?
Sure. So I just like to. I had a teacher once that told me be very mindful of how it is that you show up to a sitting. So the
Mm.
last thing I want to do, knowing that I have a sitting, is have any errands that I've got to run, anything that I've got to do, just because I like to take my time and be in a place of just quiet. And one, because I feel like I can work better that way. But two, I feel like I owe it to the people that are coming to sit with me to show up the best way that I can, because this is real life. This is, real things going on. So I can always come from a place of clarity. Sometimes I meditate, sometimes not. I make sure I drink lots of water. I just make sure that I stay in a great mindset. For instance, I won't go on social media as much. I won't take in a lot of the negativity of the news. So I'm very careful of the news that I
Oh
take
my
in.
gosh, yeah.
Mhm. So, more so, I do that really strictly whenever I'm working mediumistically. Whenever I'm psychic, for some reason, it just comes and it's a little bit easier.
So, which clairs are your strong point when you're doing those?
Sure. So my strongest clair is going to be my clair seeing, my clairvoyance, and my clair knowing, my claircognizance.
Hmm.
And those are just two. Those are some of my strongest ones: my seeing and my knowing, uh, which I think has been very helpful in me doing my mediumship. Um, Having those two that are really strong, just the knowing and the seeing,
Hmm.
but they're all so very strong. I believe, but those are my strongest ones.
Those are the strongest ones for me too. And
Mhm.
the other ones kind of sneak in every once in a while, but the knowing and the seeing really are prevalent. Yeah. Well, you've already told us something that happened to you as a young child. Are there any more experiences before or how did you start your journey? How did you find out that this really was okay and you could explore it and eventually become trained in it too?
Mm.
I imagine you've taken classes and for your abilities to help.
I do. I will say this, my development into my psychic trance mediumship, I am now going into my third year of development. Um,
Congratulations.
so I still feel very much like a baby when I get to this or when I go to this. And I always hope to have that curiosity and that passion to continue to keep learning and growing. Um, but what really happened to me, I remember I was living in New York City and I had really gone up in the ranks and I became a VP for a large energy firm in the city.
Mhm.
And there was just something within me that was just changing, and I wasn't sure what it was. For instance, when I thought I needed the six-figure salary, I thought I needed all the nice apartment and everything that was going to bring me happiness. that was going to bring me joy. But it wasn't really hitting, like the cool kids say, the way it used to. And it started this seeking within. And that's what started it. And I didn't know what was happening, even though I was very aware of what was happening when I was a child, or, what was happening then. But I remember it was a friend that was coming to visit me. And this friend opened the front door. And as soon as he opened the front door, I felt a big wave of electricity just hit my body. Just
wow.
Like, boom. And I felt this energy just from my head to my toes. And I just thought, oh my gosh, like what's going on here? And
you're trying to be cool and collected for your
I'm trying to be cool and collective. And I just started getting impressions. Like I just started saying, okay, I can feel that someone is here. And I said, are you okay? Because my friend seemed like he was not doing so well. He says, well, my best friend committed suicide last night.
Oh gosh.
And I just started to hear a name. Is his name this? Is this what happened?
Oh my God, Sylvester. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you hadn't been taking any classes and you got hit with the energy from spirit and then started telling your friend all this.
And started telling my friend all of this that I was getting. And he was like, how do you know all of this? And I just said, honestly, I don't know.
Oh, wow. Did it bring peace and comfort to your friend?
It did. It brought peace and comfort to him, which was a great thing. And I remember when he started feeling a little bit better, the energy started to leave. Like it wasn't as intense.
Wow.
And, the spirit world is so intelligent. And they were saying, we're going to show you. But not only are we going to show you, we're going to do it in a way that heals. And they were just
perfect.
They just really made themselves known. And it was a beautiful story, something that I will remember for the rest of my life.
Exactly. So that was a catalyst that got you interested in finding out more about this. And you've only been doing this 3 years?
Just 3 years.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that's wonderful. And so you left your VP behind. Yeah, all the things that feed your ego that you think you need to have. And then you find out they really aren't that important after all.
Yes.
And start something different. Okay, so whom did you study with, and what? Tell us a little bit about the journey that you've taken the last 3 years.
Sure. So the first teacher that it's very funny because I notate everything.
Oh, do you?
I do. I constantly journal, constantly write, notate everything. And the very first class that I took in mediumship was on December 15th of 2023, the very first time. And it was an online class at the Arthur Findlay College. And the mentor, the tutor that day was Suzanne Gibson Foy.
Oh, wow. You have that.
Which is so special to me that I have like all this written down. And I'm constantly writing what it is that's happening, what it is that I'm experiencing. And it's been so fantastic to go back. But that was my very first class. The very first tutor that I had was a woman. Her name is Angeline Young. And she is a phenomenal medium, psychic healer. And she's the one that I can really credit where my healing ability started. Because whenever I got with Angeline, I said, well, I just want to learn mediumship. I just want to learn mediumship. That's what I want to learn.
Well, that's what you've been dealing with. People behind the veil.
Yeah. And she was great with that, but she really got me on the path with the pranic healing and the healing aspect of it. I've done studies with Kay Reynolds, who is another fantastic medium. I love the way that she tells her story and the way that spirit moves. I've gotten an opportunity to study with Simone Key and do some trance with Simone and mediumship as well. there is a woman that I was studying a little bit with as well. Her name is Dana Wiley,
Mhm.
and she is fantastic. So I've been very lucky to have these great teachers that have given me some really strong foundations when it comes to mediumship.
So you know that you were led to those people.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, no coincidences. You were supposed to study with them. Yeah. All right. Well, tell us about the healing that you do.
sure. So the healing that I do is just healing that's, I feel like everything that we do is healing to some level. But
Hmm.
the healing that I have been exploring, which is more than just the healing of the soul, is healing of the physical body as well. And,
Oh,
you know, from small things to where if someone has like a stomach ache, or they're not feeling so great, or they're lacking energy, I find that once I get into a place, I can send certain energies through, and it helps to heal them and helps them to get better. Um, One of the things that I'm working on now, and I kind of want to keep it a little bit quiet, is that I wanted to just see how far I can go with this
oh,
healing. And I could tell you a little bit about it. I I am doing studies right now with people that are suffering with autoimmune deficiencies,
oh,
and
wow.
they're working with their doctors and in conjunction with me. They're still doing everything they've got to do with their doctor, their care. They're just adding me to it. And this way we can talk and compare, because everything I do, I like it to be based in evidence. So if you're saying that you can heal, there should be some type of evidence that is documented. So that's where the healing
Right.
is leading me now.
Now, when you're talking about healing, we're talking about energy, but it's not Reiki, is it? Is something different?
I'm certified in Reiki 1 and Reiki 2.
Hmm.
I don't, and again, this is just me, I don't really remember very much from Reiki 1 and 2, if I'm being honest. Um,
Okay.
I, I know some people probably hate me for that. I'm so sorry, Reiki people.
I don't
Um,
hate you. That's a strong word.
I know, I know.
You
Um,
just took a different juncture.
exactly. I just took a different turn, and
Yeah.
um, I turned my mind to them and I tune in. And it's almost like a place where my mind goes. And it's almost like you can just feel what's happening inside of the body and where at in the body. And it's something that I do intuitively. It's just something that I've always just known without someone really having to teach me. Um, it reminds me of a story. My very first mentor, Angeline Young, she said to me one day, we were working together, she says, "Have you started reading medical books yet and studying anatomy and things like that?" And I said, "No." I, not even really understanding, like, what it was or why it's important now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thinking about that stuff now is just kind of, I just find it amazing.
And it all came together. I think it's really cool that you are working with the doctors too
Mm.
as part of that therapy for the patients. And has that been well received by the doctors that you've been working with?
It has. It's been well received with the doctors that I've been working with. Very great with the patients. Again, do I understand what it is? It is the therapy they're getting, the care they're getting. But I know that there's, more to it as well. Now, I think that it enhances their care. And maybe with this healing that's going through, maybe it helps them on days where they're would be normally tired to where they're not as tired. Maybe it's doing something to where it's giving more oxygen to the body and to the
Hmm.
blood cells. And, I'm not sure what happens. All I just know is I'm told where to send it, like where to log in, where to send it, and I send it.
And so when they say sending you healing energy, that's exactly what you're doing to that person.
Yeah.
Sylvester, that's pretty cool. That is really, really cool. And here you were a VP doing something else, completely different side of your brain and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So, oh, wow. And you're trying to see how far you can go remotely. Is that what you were saying?
Remotely with
The healing
the healing. The healing that I do is remote.
is, yeah.
So yeah, yeah, it is remote.
Okay. So people can contact you for a lot of different things. Um, I mean, really, when you think about it, and, I know that illness is not my walk in life. It's not. But I have many friends who are physically challenged and, Lyme disease and all these other things. And diseases that sometimes they don't know how to treat either. So that's really cool that you can help with that.
Mm-hmm. Now, again, like I said, I don't understand it. I just go where the spirit tells me it's needed and just do that. Um, and maybe there will be more that comes in time and more training. But it is proven to be effective, which is a beautiful.
Don't you feel amazed?
I feel I do. I'm amazed by it.
I mean,
Um, I'm
I
amazed by
am.
it.
Yeah.
Um, I I don't know. It is amazing, but at the same time, I don't think that I'm any more special because I can do it.
No, I'm not talking that. I'm
Mhm.
not thinking that either. But you didn't start out life that way.
No.
You did not start out that way. And the people that you work with recognize what was in you before you knew what was in you.
Hmm.
And then they started cultivating that. So that's really quite interesting
It's
that they did
amazing.
that.
It's amazing. The intelligence of the spirit. It
Hmm.
will blow your mind every time. It
So
will.
yeah, and you're on your right journey too,
Yeah.
because all those doors have opened for you. Okay, so now trance healing. I love trance healing, but tell us about trance healing, and let's assume nobody knows what it is because we're all at different levels in our learning. So let's pretend we don't know. What's
Sure. So with trance, trance is where your mind changes and you go into an altered state, and your mind's at a total different frequency. It's a lower frequency for trance. And so once you are into trance, um, you are able to, there's a lot of things you can do. Speaking in trance, you can do trance healing, there's trance configuration. um, but with this and your healing, you go into a state of trance, and then you set your intention for the healing and where the healing should go. It's my belief, again, just my belief, that when you're in trance and you can get, this is where you become even closer to the spirit, and the blending is so much better in trance, which makes the power stronger. And
Mm-hmm.
so with this, you set the intention for the healing and you just send the healing that's there. Now, what will happen is that the spirit will sometimes tell you exactly what area is going on. You'll hear certain things or maybe have sensations or certain types of feelings. Um, but what I find whenever I do the trance healing, I just go into trance and just continue just to send. And that's what I do in trance. And so they
That energy.
feel better.
Hmm. So your voice doesn't change. But you're able to channel that information.
That is true. I'm able to channel that information. Now, when I go into trance speaking, what's happening is that and I don't know how much I want to share, but they are starting to try to take control of my vocal cords with my voice changing. I sit with a private group weekly, and it's so cool because we're all based all over the country.
Hmm.
And even whenever I'm in trance, the spirit will manipulate things that are here. Like there will be other faces that come over my faces, or you will start to see things. There's a woman, oh my gosh, what is her name? She was doing a study oh my, it's right at the tip of my tongue. What's happening for me whenever I do trance is that there is a halo that is starting to appear, that
Oh,
appears,
cool.
a halo. And it happens when I'm in trance. I'll go into trance and all of a sudden the halo will appear. Sonia Rinaldi, I believe is her name. She was doing some research on the halo. Why is it that some people have halos when they're in trance and some people don't? Yeah, so that's trance is a passion for sure.
Do you notice changes in your body during that too? The way you feel or how it feels?
Yeah. What I will say is I've noticed that whenever I'm working more in trance and whenever I work very, very close with spirit, that this work that we do is an act of service, and it takes from the body. It takes from the body. And there is a tutor that I'm going to begin studying with, Lindsay Percival, for 2026. And she's a big spiritualist with the S in you. And she says to me, she says, Sylvester, you've got to be very careful and make sure that you're taking your vitamins and taking your supplements. And because the spirit takes, this is why you're feeling the way that you do, because it takes from the body. And sure enough, as soon as I started taking the vitamins that I needed to take, the supplements that I needed to take, it's not as bad as it was before, if that makes any sense.
I'm a little, you got to explain it like I'm in kindergarten.
Yeah.
So, because I haven't been told to take vitamins and supplements. So I'm curious. I mean, I do take them on a daily basis. So how does that assist with the trance? Does it just make you, I don't know, how does that assist?
It just replenishes everything that's being taken from the body. I had someone once tell me, and they were in a class with Eileen Davies, and she said that doing this type of work, it's like an Achilles heel because the body will suffer, which is why sometimes you hear about mediums like, having certain deficiencies and things like that, because working, it can drain. And it's just important to replenish the body, make sure that you're taking your vitamins, make sure that you're staying well hydrated. This is why they say that the body is literal, it's a vessel. In order to work that close with the spirit and blend, I don't 100% understand it. All I just know is when I started taking my supplements and doing things, my readings became better, my connection became stronger, and I'm able to hold links much longer. That there's been an improvement and I feel much better.
I have never heard that, but it totally makes sense. Because when you think about it, let's say you just start having a lot of junk food into your body all the time, you're not in good health. God, that's really interesting. I'm glad that I take my vitamins and my supplements too. So that's nice to know. Wow. You've got some really good teachers that you've come across. You really have.
They've been a real inspiration to me. And like you said, I believe that they've been, I have been guided to them. And they're real beautiful souls, and I'm forever grateful for them. I really am.
Oh, yes. And I'm sure they love imparting their knowledge to someone like you too, also, because you're so receptive and humble, which is very nice. Arrogance is never nice. The humbleness is really nice. I want to ask you one more thing about trance.
Sure.
When I go into that state, sometimes it's really hard because I cry all the time, but it's due to feeling all the love. I feel love, love, love. I just feel like my entire essence is engulfed in love. That's not something that you have experienced.
It is. What I will say is, and I'm just thinking this might be TMI, but I'm going to say it. Whenever I am blending with the spirit, it is this immense amount of love that you feel, and it can be overwhelming. And it can be scary. It can be scary because, one, you're in this place to where there's so much vulnerability. It's love like you've never
Yes.
felt love before.
Right.
And
So agree.
what you do, and they always say this, is that you have to surrender to the spirit and allow that love to come in.
I love it.
And some things with the mind as well, shifting the mind and where the mind is at.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's, and I also feel like it's, anytime I sit in trance, I'm healed myself. And
Yes.
like you said, you feel this love. This love is healing. It's healing the soul, which is why, like, if you cry, just let those tears come out. Um,
Well, I quit crying. I mean, it would be kind of nice if I wasn't crying all the time, but if I start doing readings, I'm sure they're not going to want to see somebody crying doing these. We'll just have to see where it goes.
mhm, mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Oh, Sylvester, you're fascinating. You really are. Is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you'd like to share? Because I love your stories too. I mean,
Oh,
I'm,
thank you.
oh God, they're awesome. You should tell those all the time. Do you make little reels and that kind of stuff, videos for people to watch?
You know, I do. I make videos, and you'll find them on my social media, TikTok and on Facebook. And they're funny videos about the development process when it comes to mediumship.
Oh, I have
And
to find you.
yeah. You know, as serious as I might seem now, there is a part of me where I am very silly, and and I love making those types of videos. But yeah, yeah. Um, but maybe I should make more. You know, maybe I'm thinking about maybe doing some YouTube, possibly. I'm not sure, but
How often do you do your videos?
I got to get better at doing that because they're very sporadic.
Well, well, if that's your, yeah, if that's what you want to do, yeah, you gotta, yeah, you have to do it more often, but that's
Mhm.
up to you, not pushing you or anything, but yeah. And that's entertaining. You get to get a feel for a person when you see that in their personality, that it's fun and they're having a good time and everything. And then you take the scare away from it too, and the fear, like, God, I'm not going to do well. And, because people do come to classes and they doubt themselves, and that gets in the way. And I was just in class the other day, one of my last classes in cosmic trance, and someone just felt like they were not moving along as well as they wanted to. And when you were talking, it all, and I'm going to talk to her tomorrow, it all comes for her. It
Mhm.
comes down to being vulnerable. It comes down to opening that up. And that's hard for a lot of people to do, also. Yeah. So that was great insight for me. Oh, is there anything else? Did I cover everything about?
I think you covered everything totally.
You're very
You
multifaceted.
Oh, listen, there are some stories I could tell you when I was just like, it's about surrender. I could give you some, and I think this is why, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but my development has been very quick and very fast. And when I look back at the things that I've done in my life, from the positions that I worked, where, I worked at AT&T, and it shifted into being an instructional designer and trainer, up to where I'm doing this and that. But I had a real insight in learning to surrender, which helped me along my path, which is why I think that's been so helpful, just surrendering to the spirit.
Okay, but okay, surrendering to spirit.
Hmm.
How do you do that for the people that are just considering going down this road? How do you surrender to spirit?
It's building the trust with the spirit and understanding that they are there to always catch you. And this
Yeah.
takes time. It takes time to build that trust and that relationship. And it starts with the mind, is where it starts. Because what you're trying to surrender is that you're trying to surrender the mind.
Oh gosh. You know what? I'm taking notes.
Oh.
I am. I'm going to tell my friend. I'm going to tell my friend this tomorrow because she's really bummed.
Yeah. There's a doorway, and it's this doorway that you've got to learn to unlock. And once you unlock that door, that's when you can really get in, and that mind really starts to lower. And it's a mental thing that you have to go over. And so this means learning to trust yourself. There's a lot of personal development that comes with this. There's a lot, which is a lot of work that you have to do on self, getting to know yourself. And once you are able to do that, and once you are working on this and you have this awareness, you start to trust and you start to surrender even more. Yeah. Just kind of my thought on it.
Would you also say that you have to, because you came from a moneyed world where you were very successful, and I'm sure people looked up to you, and you were regarded that way. And I'm keeping my friend in mind. She was not, the situation was different, but people looked up to her. Maybe that is the problem with her too. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to help my friend here, but we can help others with this too.
That's true. So you think it's the fact that others used to look to her that's maybe like blocking her?
Yeah, and now she has to show people this other side of her, just like you have shown people another side of you. And that can be scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. People can be judgy.
They can.
Yeah. And I'm to the point, just for me, I don't care. I don't care anymore. And I used to care. I did. But then I realized, when all this stuff happened to me and I shared my vulnerability, people are going to judge you no matter what. So you might as well just be you and let them judge you on the real you, because, some people do that. They don't have that boundary. Anyway, I am talking way too much.
I think that you've hit the nail on the head and this wraps it up perfectly, because in the end, it's really about just being you, your true, authentic self. If you think about it, we are all expressions of the divine, each of us.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so that expression is just to be who you truly are, uniquely you, and loving that and understanding that.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is what spirituality is about. It's just about being you. Your spirituality is your own and the God of your understanding.
Mm-hmm. Sylvester, I feel you're going to do great things. I really do.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And I haven't really said that to a lot of, no, not a lot of people. I think you're going to really do. I think you're untapped and you're just going to explode.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Karen. Like I said, when you like the cool kid said, slid in my DMs. You slid in my DMs, y'all, and it was just like, who is this nice woman here? Inviting me to be on her show, and I was like, yeah, I was so flattered by that.
Well, good.
And I check it out, and I just love what it is that you do.
So yeah, and spirit leads me to the people that I talk to. That's how I decide who I interview, because there are a lot of people out there, and I'll get guided. Okay, go here, go there. So I give a little bit of my story. Some people read it, some people don't. Some people watch the videos and see. So I'm very blessed that way. So I'm glad you came on the channel. We'll have to have you back.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I would love to come back.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Anything else, Sylvester? Do you go by Sly at all, or are you just typically Sylvester?
Not since my younger days. I used to go by Sly, but now just Sylvester. I go by
It's very
the full
dignified.
name. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very dignified. It's nice. Yeah. All right. Well, my friend, it was an honor having you on the show, and we'll have you back again another time. And man, I learned stuff from you. I love it when I take away things and learn things. So thank you so much.
You're so very welcome, and thanks for having me. And I hope that you all have a blessed rest of the week, month, and a fantastic 2026 coming in.
It's going to be better. It's going to be way better.
Yeah, I believe
To
so.
changes, and you can see how to get a hold of him if you'd like to get a hold of him and have a reading, or I'm sure he'll just chit chat with you too.
Yes, I will.
Okay, thank you, Sylvester. Thank you
Thank
for being
you.
on the show.
Mhm.
Mhm.